On hard work, today you preach discipline and consistency, but also sustainability. How do you know if you're working too hard?
So too hard's such a hard concept to like I would be like, what does too hard even mean? I think that you have a rate of output that occurs over a period of time. And if the rate of output decreases kind of precipitously at some point, then you know you're not being effective anymore. And so like on a micro level, even hour to hour throughout a day, you know, your output will go down and then you have to sleep at some point. Then you wake up and then your output goes up again. And so I think like the idea of being burned out, like I don't think anyone's like, people don't burn out when they're playing video games. Not really. I mean, maybe some people, but like for the most part, you can like kind of keep doing it. And I think that burnout just means that the reward for the work that you're doing has either you have habituated to that reward, so you've gotten used to it, so it no longer really rewards you anymore, or the cadence of that reward, which is meaningful, has continued to extend in terms of how frequently you get rewarded, which are both two different ways of basically saying the same thing, which is just you're not getting out of it what you wanted to get out of it. And so I think that is when people, quote, get burned out. I don't think it has anything to do with the amount of work that you're doing. So I think it's about what's happening around you while you're working rather than the work itself. Because there are, like I like looking at things across like many thousands of years. And so even the idea of a 40-hour work week is a pretty modern invention. And if you look at, you know, even a few hundred years ago, people just worked every day. And it wasn't like, oh my God, that guy's so hardcore. It's just like he just worked every day because that was just kind of the expectation, and you just like had to live and had to survive. And if he had enough to eat for a day off, he could probably do that if he wanted to. And so I think about that a lot, which is like a lot of these confines are self-inflicted. And I think laddering up the belief set to like, does this serve me? And so the idea of like, you know, how do you develop work ethic? I think the big thing is like, it's not really developing work ethic. It's doing the things that you have been rewarded for doing in the past and removing things that you don't enjoy as much. And then it gets easier to do more because you enjoy doing the thing you're doing. Now, let me be clear. I don't like, there's overhead. Of course, there's things that I do that I don't enjoy doing, but there's food that you eat that you don't immediately like, but maybe you like dessert. And that's like, so it's really just like, again, it's a cadence of reinforcement. It's like, how many times am I being reinforced over a period of time? And maybe if anything, the thing that gets developed is that you develop a history of being rewarded for delaying gratification over a period of time.
Here's how to get older without getting better. Keep relearning the same lesson. If you keep making the same mistake over and over, the mistake isn't the problem. You are.
So I define learning by same condition, new behavior. And so when you go to a video game and you battle through the level and you battle the boss, if you keep doing the same thing to the boss and you keep losing, then you have not learned because you have the same condition and the same behavior. And so I often say that, like, for anyone who's listening to this podcast, if the goal is to get better and you're like, man, I really want to learn something from this podcast. If you listen to this podcast and then you're in the same exact conditions as you were before, and then you do not change your behavior, you learned nothing. And so using that definition has at least allowed me to change my behavior faster, which then goes into rate of learning, which I define as intelligence. And so a lot of people are like, man, he's so smart, but he just doesn't. It's like, well, then if he doesn't change his behavior and he's in the same conditions, he's a dummy. He's not that smart. And so if you are trying to battle the same boss over and over again, and you don't change what you're doing, and the boss keeps beating you, then it's not the game's problem. It's your problem. You are the problem.
There's this hermetical principle, as above, so below. Your will be done on heaven as it is on earth. Everything begins in the mind. In order for something to become real, it needs to first be thought, because thought is energy, and thought becomes manifested through action into the three-dimensional world, right? So action is what makes the thought reality, but it all works together. That's why Paul says, without what? Works, faith is dead. Because the only way that you know that faith is real is if your actions match to what you believe. Because if you believe something, but you don't do what you believe, do you actually believe it? Or are you just a hypocrite? So everything is in symbiosis. you need to control your thoughts because your thoughts lead to actions. Actions lead to habits. Habits lead to behavior. Behavior leads to lifestyle. Lifestyle then what? Feeds back to your thoughts. Because what you feed is what you spend time on. There's this common parable of two dogs, the white dog and the black dog. Whichever one you feed the most is going to win the battle. If they're supposed to go against each other in some dog battle, the one that you feed, the one that you strengthen is the one that's going to dominate. If you're out here watching porn all day, satisfying yourself with social media, objectifying women, thinking about, the next rapper's drama and song, but you spend no time with God, spend no time developing your physique, spend no time in nature, what you feed becomes strong. And what I realized was that my desires were mine and they were there because I was feeding them. So the things that I wanted in life, they were there because I put them there. The reason I looked at a woman in a certain way was because of the things that I was feeding myself that changed my perception and my worldview. So you need to control what you feed, which will then control what you think. And it's a hyperloop that every single person is always in. So you need to match every aspect and always be aware.